Hello guys, welcome back to the DMAP Mastering channel. Today we're going to be talking about mixed bus processing. What is mixed bus processing? What types of processing can be used? For example, compression, EQ, soft clipping, or limiting. Do you need to color your mixed bus? Or do you want to keep it clean? Do you need third-party plugins on the mixed bus? Using your ears and going over a track and adding mixed bus processing to it so we can hear the results. So what is mixed bus processing? Basically what mixed bus processing is taking all of your tracks, so my kicks, my snares, my hats, my bass instruments, what have you, reverbs, delay, all effects, and sending it to a channel called mixed bus. This is basically an aux or bus channel. And then there I can add all my mixed bus processing. Now you can also add it here on the output, but I prefer to have it here on the mixed bus. I have a little bit more control on the level and everything here without affecting the master. Just the way I like to do it. You can do it the way you feel. It's applying common effects to the whole song, so to speak. So for example, today we're going to use a mixed bus processor. So for the first mixed bus processor I have here is a compressor. The compressor we're going to use, keeping it with the native theme that we're going on here, we have a mixed bus compressor. Now, what makes it a mixed bus compressor? The fact that it's on a mixed bus. Am I using the same compressor that I've used on my other channels? Absolutely. It's just, again, I'm using my ears. It's what I like. That sounds good to me. You can go ahead and use any other mixed bus processor you want to use. Logic has a bunch of other emulations that it uses. And here you'll see it has different emulations for different types of compressors that came out or are out. I like to use the Platinum Digital. It's just the cleanest compressor they have, and then for the purpose of this tutorial, it just works. So again, going over my attack, makeup, release. I kept the attack pretty short at 3 milliseconds. My release is about 310. Again, numbers mean nothing. I do this all by ears. My knee, which shows here on the graph, how steep I want the compression to start or how hard I want it to attack. I have it in the middle, and threshold will compress the taste. So let's start playing the track without mixed bus compression. I'll play it 4 bars into the hook, and then I'll engage it 4 bars after that.
Caramel skin, sweet and tempting, body wrapped in pure affection. So enticing, no denying, you're a queen of fantasy. Caramel skin, sweet and tempting, body wrapped in pure affection. So enticing, no denying, you're a queen of fantasy.
Now what you should have heard was the track get a little bit more focused and tighter. I'm only going for about 2 dBs of gain reduction. That's about it. You don't need a lot of mixed bus compression on your tracks. This just kind of tightens up the bottom end. It brings the small elements of the track forward. It gives it a little bit more intimate sound. Things get a little bit closer. Lower levels get brought up a little bit. Higher levels get pushed down a little bit. You don't want to do too much compression because you still want to keep the dynamics of the track. But this is a good setting, getting about 2 dBs, 2-to-1 ratio. So with these settings, this is a good starting point. Once again, try to listen to what the mix is doing without the compression and with the compression. Here we go. I'll play it again.
Caramel skin, sweet and tempting, body wrapped in pure affection. So enticing, no denying, you're a queen of fantasy. Caramel skin, sweet and tempting, body wrapped in pure affection. So enticing, no denying, you're a queen of fantasy.
So there you have it, folks. And we also have where we can apply EQ as well. So if you see here, I have a native EQ plugin from Logic Pro. And it's basically just your average EQ. You can use any EQ you want. It doesn't matter which EQ you use. Just make sure you like it and it's good to your ears and it suits the track. That's what counts. Make sure that it suits the track. Let's play this track. Let's move this here. Let's close that out. Let's play the track with the compression and with the EQ now. Let's see if we hear any tonal changes. So I'll play it off and I'll play it on. And then I'll go into explaining what I did on the settings of the EQ.
Caramel skin, sweet and
there you go. So what we did with the channel EQ is we pretty much boosted a little bit over here at 84, took some frequencies out a little bit that I didn't like, and then boosted again over here at 4,000. Again, the numbers mean nothing. What you do is you basically sweep this EQ around, and whatever sounds good to you, whatever number it settles on, then that's what sounds good. Each track's going to be different. Each bass or kick drum is going to resonate at a different tone, and that's what you want to focus on. You want to focus on where in the low end am I getting the best bang for my buck. And I try not to do too many increases in decibels in terms of sending this all the way up to 5 or 6 dB. The mixed bus processing is subtle because remember, you're going to give this to a mastering engineer who's going to have probably more high quality equipment and better ears, and will do some more subjective stuff. Normally, I would tell people to stay away from the EQ, but again, EQ is one of those things that can either help or hurt you. But I'm just doing it for the purposes of this tutorial. So let's cut that off. When you are delivering to a mastering engineer, you want to deliberately deliver it with a lot of this processing off, because they will have their own equipment, or whether it's hardware or software, and they have the ears tuned to what the final polished sound will sound like. So to those who are kind of new, I would just keep it to the compression if you can. If it gets tricky and it starts to mess with your mix, just turn it off and just deliver the mix that you have to your mastering engineer. So with that being said, we're using native plugin tracks here. And a lot of questions I get is, well, what about tape? And what about adding this color? And what about this and that? Yeah, you can add tape, you can add color, you can add transistors, you can add tubes. But the thing is, does it help your track? Don't just use things because it's the newest buzzword that is out right now. Use the tools that help your track. And what I suggest is master the plugins that you already have, that already come with your DAW, before you spend more money. You can spend more money, but doesn't necessarily make you have better ears to listen out for the inconsistencies in your track to make better. So just start out with the stuff you have. Don't go rush out and spend money. You can buy third-party plugins if you want, but it's not necessary. Lastly, what I want to say is, if you want to deliver this track to your mastering engineer and you do want to put your mixed bus processing on, just make sure you're at a decent level. We're going to go over in the next tutorial on how to export your final mix for mastering. So I'll see you then.